What the fuck is up, Pine Box listeners? Welcome to Sunday Mass. Welcome to the Sunday Mass, children. This is episode 6. This is going to be kind of a weird episode, so if this is your first episode of the Pine Box, go listen to another episode. This episode is for people who've been listening and who've been keying into the kind of shit that I talk about. So if you're not familiar with the Pine Box, don't let this be your first exposure, because this is going to be a wacky, weird episode. We're going to read something that I wrote. And to preface this, for those of you who don't know, I do suffer from depression. Do suffer from the great D beast. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing to live with. And one of the things that depression does is it makes you not want to talk about it. It makes you not want to tell other people that you're depressed, because for one, it's really fucking embarrassing. You're afraid that people will look at you differently or will think you're just complaining, And one thing that people without depression do to people with depression is they try to solve it. They try to point it to a specific reason, or they try to, say, oh, you can do this or you can do that, and it's like, yeah, I know, but it doesn't really change anything. It never really, even if you follow the advice of these wise, sage people who have never dealt with depression, it just doesn't always help. So again, it makes you really not want to talk about it. Depression forces you to, retreat inside your brain and just try to deal with it yourself. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let it win this time. That's why I'm sharing this with you guys. It's really the whole point of this is I know for people who are listening who are also going through the same thing, it's very, very fucking difficult. And I just thought I would read this thing that I wrote because it's excuse me. It's about depression, and it's kind of a dialogue between being depressed and being motivated. Because they are kind of on the, opposite sides of the spectrum. So, we'll read this, see if it makes us feel any better. And, just sit back and relax, and, this is Hot Failure Soup by me. Depression, you ugly bird. I swat you away with the tenacity of an old man waving away the help of his young rival. How could you be back again already, and so powerful this time? When last we met, you had me in the death throes, those throes of death, the throne upon which I sit to throw prose at my lachrymose foes. Didn't you know? I spit in your face. Sick makes me sit in my place to pace and space upon the happiness of a good time, of which there is no trace. God damn it, I'm fucking depressed. Would you like me to sit on the couch, shoveling Oreos into my mouth again? My taste buds thank you, but my cankles do not. I stammer and clatter while my forehead burns hot. Depression, crush matter into pancake batter snot. You bad mamma jammer, for it matters not when I sit alone to smoke pot, and I think of the thought that plagues me. It could be anything at this point. A burn that scars deeply without any ointment, a breakup, a shake-up, a doctor's appointment. Just let me be. I simply want to love the ones I love, and detest the ones who manifest this in me. Is that so hard? Boy, what I wouldn't give for the words of my father right now. Work hard and pray hard, at least that's what I did. Just slither and wither like some weird kind of squid. What more should I give? I feel like a computer that has begun to malfunction. My hardware grows heavy and my software begins to show the signs of decay. The IT guy went home a long time ago, and so there is no one to perform the required maintenance. But so what, you fucking pussy? Get off the couch and go for a run. Won't that be fun? Your feet hit the ground, your face turned to the sun. Actually, no, Motivation, that sounds fucking stupid. It sounds like something an asshole would say. I don't like to run. I don't like to have fun. In fact, one day our Earth will be killed by the sun. Ever think of that? My every action spells disaster in the face of eventual death. The sands of time will wash away every deed and seed planted by me. It is only greed that makes us want to dig our heels into the ground and try to form something permanent in a non-permanent universe. Alright, goddammit, I'm getting you off the couch and you're going for a run. Put on your fucking gym shorts. But wouldn't it be much more fun to watch this Cannibal Corpse documentary again? For like the 60th time? Maybe make an entire box of macaroni and cheese and eat the whole thing in one sitting? I like hanging out with depression. No, you apathetic cock. Look, your shorts are already half on. Just run out the door and put your headphones at full blast. Okay, fine. So I run, and I run with the wind at my back. I pass buildings of white and buildings of black. And part of me feels a tiny bit better. Like a lonely old goat who's just opened a letter. When suddenly I see a couple walking past. They smile and joke about God only knows what. Brown and yellow leaves on the ground. Stores full of people. The world is too much for me. Suddenly my entire line of sight begins to spin. I find myself shirtless, sweating, and partially deaf in the middle of a road. A car honks at me, and a man with an orange construction vest appears and yells at me to get the fuck out of the street. Why did I bother going on this run in the first place? I shut my music off as I return home. I had stopped listening long ago anyway. I strip naked and curse whatever evil god has created the human paradigm. Take a cold shower, my motivation says. Take the coldest fucking shower you can stand. You'll feel better. But here comes depression when I thought it had lurked off. I mean, I'm already naked. Why not just jerk off? There's tension and stress and bad vibes to work off. Motivation is a warrior, and I am a sloth. No. Get your hands off your dick. What the fuck is wrong with you? How have you even survived this far into life? Get in the fucking shower before I get sick. Jesus. And so into the shower I step and I shiver. I shake down to my core, my bones, and my liver. And what else is there? What is left to be had once I'm stripped to bare bottom? Fuck it, I'll catch up on the new season of Gotham. Motivation has only to shake its head. Don't you have a podcast you could be working on? Don't you feel like writing something? You have like 6 riffs you haven't touched in the last week. Don't you want to finish any of those? I hang my head and run my fingers through my hair. Teary-eyed, I look to my motivation. None of that gives me pleasure at the moment. I can wail on guitars till the cows do come home, and still when it's dark and my head goes to roam, over hills dark and green, constructed on loam, I recount all the triumphs that have now turned to foam. The feelings and memories, the friends that I've lost, the sights and the sounds get jostled and tossed into failure soup, always bubbling and hot. I keep fucking up, and that is the cost. So yeah, I really haven't decided if I'm gonna post this yet. Yeah, I really don't know. That's kind of one of the things that depression does to you, is it makes you second guess everything that you do. It makes makes every decision you make kind of seem stupid and, pointless. But it's not. It's not pointless, I wrote that just to get the thoughts onto paper, I tried not to set too many rules for myself. Parts of it rhymed just because I wanted it to, just because I wanted to fucking, I want it to be a Sesame Street poem about depression. I don't know. I want it to be goofy. I like not having rules for the things that I do. But, I wrote it just to, if there's any point to this at all, this episode, the Sunday Mass. It's to provide, if there's somebody listening to this who does have a depression, just know that there's some kind of a light. There's some kind of... There's people out there that are experiencing it too. There's people out there that are dealing with it as well. One thing you can do if you are depressed and listening to this right now, go to your email and type into the recipient box or whatever. Type in the Pine Box podcast at gmail.com. Again, that is the Pine Box podcast at gmail.com. And tell me why you're depressed. Tell the Pine Box why you're depressed. Come to us with your problems. I will not disclose any of it on the air. I won't say any of it on the podcast, but it's just a resource for you, It's just something for you to be able to reach out with. I want to be able to do that for people, If this podcast never does anything else, I want it to be that. A place where people can just come listen to me, who's fucking crazy and obviously more than a little depressed, and be able to converse. Drop me a DM on Instagram if you follow me there. Just don't let yourself suffer through it alone. And don't let yourself slip into the solipsistic coma of depression naps and fucking, as I said in the poem, just eating Oreos until you fucking slide off the front of the couch. Yeah. So, pretty short episode, pretty boring episode. But there it is. Bam, bitches. But yeah, we'll be back next week on Friday, as always. And just keep that chin up, folks. Just keep that chin up. I love you.